Alright peeps, welcome back to Split City, episode 14. We're hanging about on top of a brand new colossal tower on the fancy pants deed stable Triangle Island, watching the day fly by, enjoying a beautiful little sunset, and the Aurora Borealis coming to say good day. Look at the bloody majestic city we've built for ourselves here. It's not very often I get to see it in the night, like, it looks bloody beautiful. But let's step off and have a look at our colossal tower. Oh, that is a skyline buster, that, isn't it? And if we get low enough here, the moon disappears behind it and gives it that fancy little glow. Oh, we've got the Milky Way core knocking about. Look at that bad lad. Anywho, plane! Oh, I can't interact with the plane when I'm in photo mode. Why didn't we come back out of photo mode by bringing the daylight back? And showing you how much of a roaring success Colossal Tower's been. It's absolutely chock-a-block there. The electronics business doing the road is absolutely chugging along. And all of that combined has led our city to invest millions and millions in enticing more and more people to live here. Not only by supplying colossal housing, but also out at the Grafters Split, we're gonna do mass expansion over here. This place is gonna be nigh on unrecognisable. We're gonna create heaps and heaps and heaps of jobs for our brand new citizens once they move in. And where they're gonna be moving in is this little fancy ring here. The inner portion of it, to be more precise. And as you can no doubt tell by the Northeast USA buildings all the way around this ring, it's a canny sturdy bit of ground there. It can handle big weight. So let's dive back in to find it here. Pick our Century Castle, which was too big to get on the Triangle Island. You can see it's too big for that. But it is near too big to get on here. But we're going to plop it all the way out on the side. Because I didn't want to just pop one big old high-rise on here. I want to pop multiple down. Take the Halo Heights, for example. Oh, now the Halo Heights could work, you know. That could actually work. And I'm not moving my mouse because I swear that's getting faster. Alright, the flickering building seems to have reached terminal velocity. It does look like it'll fit here somewhere. Let's see if we can find a spot to squeeze it in. Ooh! Would you look at the hedgerow there? Let's get this bad lad plopped. Oh no! I pressed escape to come out and find it! We just leveled up to Big City! And unlocked Pinfall Palace. Challenge your friends or family to this modern bowling alley where the vibrant atmosphere promises an unforgettable gaming experience filled with entertainment. Okay. Oh, and we unlocked the Sign Vista, a state-of-the-art multi-screen cinema showcasing the latest film technology for the ultimate movie experience, ensuring that every moment on the big screen is filled with excitement and entertainment. Why aye? We might have to plop those, make this a little entertainment district on this little cove here. But yeah, now for now, we're going to have to whip out, move it, and move these bad lads. So what I was oohing and ahhing about is I noticed this little hedge here being at a 45-degree angle. I reckon we could line that up with the cove and just have this work out real nice. So we'll line that up with the curve of the street there. Let's bring it in so it's not on the actual path. And yeah, now I'm going to get proper anal with this, like, let's do it properly. That is perfect. How we're looking round the front. I can work with that, like. I can most certainly work with that. Now, Century Castle needs a bit of a move it now. I wonder if we could do something with this curve and sort of like chuck it in a corner. Let's have a try. I have a feeling this is going to be a no, but let's have a look. We've got the curve in the corner, and we'll need a road going up the middle, which, nah, didn't want to do that. Let's spin this back round. You know what, actually, I'm going to line it up with Halo Heights, so it's at a dodgy little angle. Because we love dodgy little angles here. I reckon I'm happy with that. We're overlapping slightly, but it's only on the hedges. We'll sort out the surfaces. It'll look canny. And look at this, we even got pedestrians using it already. A little bit of a shortcut instead of going all the way around. Well, we've officially dwarfed the Colossal Tower. It lasted an entire episode, but now we've got competition on the skyline. And how many houses is this? 756, 960. That's a canny amount. But it's not enough. Where's me next high-rise coming from? And I mean, to be fair, the only spaces I've got left is these two here across the walk. And yeah, now it's going to have to be a fairly small high-rise, isn't it? Oh, and right down the bottom, it looks like we've got a skinny tower. But is it just really tall? And we've got the waveform. Let's check the one tumble tower. How big are ye? Ooh, canny small. And look at that. Nah, it just fits. It actually just fits. Right, well, that's going to have to happen. You're getting plopped there. And then the waveform tower, you look a bit chunky, but are you just short? Oh no! You're tall and chunky. You're definitely not fitting there, like. What about a second one-tumble tower, though? Oh! That's happening! Oh, bloody dodgy zoning. Right, pause. Let's sort this out. Let's get old mate out the way, so we're not upsetting any zoning. Well, now these shops and residences are still happy they're gonna stick a boot. They are massive towers! Damn, what a skyline! Oh, that is quite nice actually with the row around the back. I do like that. That is canny mad, like. Can we fully block out the sky there with these buildings? Go on, zoom in a bit. There we go. No sky to be seen through these bad lads. So it was quite the contrast, isn't it, from the old UK terrace we've got going on here. 2 stories and a pitched roof, that's all you're allowed. And then all of a sudden, big old skyscrapers. I don't know, how many residents do these hold? It's got to be over 1,360? Well, I suppose it is a skinny lad, you know, it is a thin boy. Now, I am tempted to get this waveform tower placed, but we've placed 4 bloody skyscrapers this episode. I think that's enough. Whoa, where did he come from? Mild unintentional fib there. We placed 5 skyscrapers, but we're definitely deleting the 5th one. Bet you the train driver's happy that skyscraper's out the way now. And everyone's got the zoning back. We can zoom on out away from the city. I definitely need to be further away from the train here. It's absolutely conking us in the face. There we go. And the train zooming back and forth doesn't look too bad now, does it? This actually looks bad. I'm loving this. Spiral about. Oh, I love the spiral about. Right, well, now we're back in reality. Let me real casually use Move It to finagle these high rises exactly where I want them. Right, so I've repositioned me big old towers here. As you can see, there's no clipping, no issues going on. We just need to delete some fences, we'll be sweet. Our past me 2 new big old flats here. We've got our lovely little second skinny flat, and that is just big chillin', not interfering with anybody's zoning at all. Now, the next thing we've got to do for these high-rise peeps is sort out a little bit of key action for them. Of course, using a fancy custom key path. And there we have our fancy new key. And I downgraded these fancy key paths to just be regular old paths. Frees up a little bit of space for some future zoning and activities. You know what? I'm even gonna pop a path up the side here for these pedestrians. Tidy little shortcut there for your laddies. Oh, we've got a pedestrian using it already! I love when the pedestrians clock on straight away and start using me new shortcut paths like. Now over here, I'm going to leave this little bit of a beach or a ramp area, because we're not quite done with this bit yet. But what I am going to do, go into paths, upgrade this little bit of key path to be just a regular old path, squeeze in between the buildings there like that, and then whip out my bulldozer, going to remove sub-elements and quickly get these bloody fences out the way before the pedestrians get there. There you go, nice clear path and walkway for you new in it. Just don't mind the rubbish hanging about on your path. With all of these new high-density residences here that we've got people flocking in to use, we need to give the people something to do, don't we? And it also gives us an excuse to finally sort out the nub of this Bourne Boulevard that people do like to walk their dogs on and that, but strictly unnecessary. But just because we've deleted the Bourne Boulevard doesn't mean we still don't want to celebrate and commemorate the actual Bourne that allowed the original swamp to thrive and not get flooded underwater. These are the only people that were here to begin with. Everyone else, been replaced. Damn, look at that lens flare. Anywho, let me get a bit of landscaping on the crack here. And where this land already exists, we just want to spit it out. All the way, get it nice and level. Because I want to plop one of our fancy new parks down. Even though I'm pretty sure it was in the last update at this point. But the Dockyard Lounge? There's no better place for a Dockyard Lounge than out on the river here where the old Bourne used to be. And technically still is. Therefore can market itself as the berm that saved the swamp. And it looks like they made it out of the shipping containers that fell off the ship that came down here and capsized. Or capsized. Oh, damn, they got the footyard after. What a bloody place. Well, now the residents of Evergreen Swamp have got a lovely little Dockyard Lounge to environment in. Let's make sure we educate the kids by doing a lucky dip placement down here. Oh, that's where I wanted it, I think. But it's in any way, we're all happy. Look at that big school. Fits in with the US district here. Well, maybe not so much since I've done all the high rises, but fits in with the US district here, viewed from this angle. There you go. All happy days, isn't it? Ah, bloody love this swamp, like. Absolutely love it. Right, now let's set about getting this place all prettied up and pathed up. And there we have it, our fancy pants little district of education and leisure. Before we get too many enrolments, this is just for this Evergreen Swamp. It's not for those pesky terrace hillers over there. And you know what's absolutely shocking me? We're getting all these residents. Bloody hell, we're actually getting a lot of residents in. We've already filled Century Castle. Look at all of the bloody households in here. There's heaps and heaps of them. But our commercial demand has went right down. Is the UK mixed housing actually still bugged? Let's just get these all dezoned and we'll see if our bloody Dragon's Gate buildings get plonked in here or not. Or if we get any sort of commercial demand at all. Unoccupied buildings, local demand. See, that's what I'm saying. The local demand should be massive with all of these in here. But anywho, let's give that a bit of time to go. Let's check out our industrial demand here. We've got labour and high-skilled labour and local demand availability. We need to get all the way out of the grafters split and extend. Oh, this is going to be a big one, like. But do you see how we've got our big expressway here? Well, it's split up into a million bits of road, but we got some motorway access direct onto here. Then it takes you up onto this expressway or down into this bit of the expressway / industrial estate. This is the bit with the lovely flyover where the cars can straight through the little building there. A little bit of a drive-through advertise your building, you know? Next to a fancy pants dog park where you can buy your hot dogs while you're walking your dog on your lunch break. Then you can see we've got the Gore Expressway that comes down here and terminates at Maple Street. I want Maple Street to remain the same as is, purely because it's got this underground connection here. This used to be the only way for vehicles to get past this train and motorway here. Oh, what happened? You know what? I'm just not going to worry about it. We'll call it a modern art installation next to a motorway and railway here, just to give the grafters split a touch of class. But like I say, we're leaving Maple Street alone here. But I still want to bring the Gore Expressway all the way run to this site here and build yet another motorway connection to it. Like a little half a ring road, you know, without the bottom bit. And if you're not from the UK and you're not aware of this, we absolutely love an uncompleted ring road. It's one of our many chef's kisses to engineering. Now, our first step is going to be properly levelling out this entire beach. Or at least a solid bit of it, you know. We could call it levelling up the beach. And then it sounds like we're like investing money to make it better and nicer, but we're not. We're just physically raising the level of the beach up a couple of meters. Well, with the beach leveled up here, let's go ahead, spend one of our 44 progression points on some water transportation. You see, being in the starting tiles does heavily restrict our ability for any sort of public transport. There's no way I'm able to fit a rail yard in anywhere. I'll use Find It just to show you how bloody big it is. Look at that! I'd have to take up this whole farming area just to get some trains on the crack. But I reckon we can spring $500,000 dues for a big old cargo harbour. And I need to get this in first because it's going to come back quite a bit. And I didn't know if I can fit it. I can fit it in beside me good old fashioned solar farm here. I'm going to have to slide it all the way to the end of the map. So right here, I'm not outside the city limits, apart from the actual connecting piece, but I could not care less if that's in or outside the city limits. I'm not going to build it here, just so the whole bit can be inside the city limits, you know? So I'm going to line this building up right on this corner here. Not overlapping the outside of the world at all. Not even... Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Not even our cranes were overlapping anyway. Before I accidentally right-click again, let's plop this down. The big old cargo. Oh, look at the sea rushing in to fill all of this up and drown our farm. Get out of the animals. Get into the cargo. Some of the cows are safe. Aye, some of the cows made it to safety, but some of these cows and pigs just need to get up. Quick, get out the water. Oh, cows, I didn't think you want to be drinking that seawater. It's not the finest water in the world, like. But I suppose it's up to you, you know. A cow will do as a cow will do. Look at that view right there. The bovine shipping experience. Alright, let's actually sort this sea level out here. Well, now we got our big old cargo harbour. We'll have to sort out the ring road. And it is unfortunately time to mildly downsize the farm. And the beach farm's been a staple of Split City the entire time, I believe. I think it was episode 1 where we got it on. But now we're going to have to shrink it down. Maybe even split it off into 2 separate farms. And look at that poor, sorry state of affairs for the farm. It used to be the entire beach. Now it's just this one little sliver of flooded buildings. But anywho, for our expressway, we are using medium 4-lane divided roads here. Now, because it is an expressway, we want to keep the curves nice and tidy. Now, if you're wondering why I've stopped the Gore Expressway just before the old cargo harbour station here, there's 2 reasons. First one is, like the old Garbo tip here that used to extend all the way out, we want to go underneath it. And I saw a very clever bit of traffic management for one of these, and I want to implement it because it looks mint. So looking at all of our lanes and lines here, the greens are pedestrians, the blues are for vehicles. So we're going to have some sort of pedestrian access here. Let's mark it with a path, little something like that. So now that's all connected. The thing I saw online had a road coming out of here, and 2 roads coming in the side here. Now I'm not entirely sure which lanes these were coming in at. However, I'm going to choose to bring traffic in off this lane here and this lane here. It just seems to be the most efficient. We've got 5 lanes here. Put 2 lanes in the middle. I suppose for up here, you just come out like this. Now, I am pretty confident it was a one-way system, the thing I saw online. But this is just going to be a 2-way system for now. We might have to change it, we'll see. And I just remembered that this is actually a motorway in the middle here, not a medium lane. So let's upgrade this straight bit in the middle to be your motorway. You know what, actually, get that to be a motorway as well, all the way around. And the reason we do that is so we can come off a little something like this. However, I'm going to go inverted with it. And as much as it sounds fancy, it just means I'm going to go down with this one instead of up. And rather annoyingly, the way I want to do it so it's all buttered up, it completely overlaps that dirt road I put on. Well, that's alright, I'll just shift the dirt road over slightly. And to be fair, at this depth, I might just have it over the top. But before we get too carried away, let's finish this bit of the ring road. We're diving underneath the harbour here. We're going to chuck a 90 degree, start heading back towards the motorway. So we're going to have normal expressway here that has zoning on the side. And then we're going to transition into motorway. Once again, dipping under 15 metres, just as we approach the harbour. And it was just a case of connecting these two together. A proper Nauta matter number like that, eh? And the crafters above, they've got no idea, no worries about it. And then on this side of the expressway is where things get a proper hectic. We need to connect onto the Hills motorway here. But we've already got far too many slip roads as is. Therefore, we're not going to connect to the Hills motorway. We're going to connect to the Hills motorway slip roads. And to help facilitate that, I'm going to make myself a bloody roundabout. Oh, and I'm trying not to ruin any zoning as well while I do this. Now, from the motorway to this bit of expressway roundabout here, I'm going to be coming off this bit of underground slip road just as it splits off to the left. We're going to have it dive and doon underneath this bit of slip road action. And no anarchy, so we know it's not actually colliding or breaking anything. And then of course New It All wants to kick off and say it's colliding even though I placed it in and it's bloody not. Alright, anarchy time. We're going to get a casual 90 degrees up to minus 15. And then another casual little 114 degrees up an 11.7% gradient up to the roundabout there. Isn't that bloody lovely? Well, I think it is anyway. Now, I'm not going to lie to you peeps. I did say that I didn't want to destroy any of this zoning here, but I'm really having a difficult time seeing past just doing something like this. I'm going to have to go down 25 metres to pass under this little bit of road here to come back up to 15 metres under the motorway so I can reconnect onto the same bit of slip road that I just went underneath. Therefore, some people are about to lose their businesses, especially when it lines up so perfectly like that. Oh no, I should have deleted the road first. Well, now that I've deleted that bit of road, let's real casually do this again. Oh, a little something like that. People can handle a nice 5.9% gradient. And let's try and make this a nice little bridge here. What's the distance? So we're going to do a nice tidy 20 metre bridge. Then we're going to come back down at a real casual 12.6% gradient. Alright, we're going to have to sort that out. But what that does let me do is set a very similar gradient on this side before replopping the road in. Well, now we've got that majesticness up and running. We've got a little bit of construction on the gun. A little bit of bonus zoning, you know. I did shift some zones around. Like this building, I didn't place. But I did move because it was over the top of the Gore slip roads. And a little bit of zoning freed up here for it. But we've got our Gore slip roads and Gore expressway now going all the way around. Proper little flyabout it is. And I especially like these little motorway intersections. Let's dive underground and appreciate it. That's actually a nice tidy little chitch around. I really like that. And I think that's a nice tidy little gun in as well. Now of course we are merging 2 lanes together into 1 lane before going onto the motorway. But I'd rather do that than have to have 2 lanes merging into 2 lanes. It's just like too many lanes at that point. Now I may have said this was going to be a 2-way system. I lied. It's absolutely going to be 1-way. Why would I introduce a 2-way system when I already have a 1-way system splitting all of these little gates here? So let's do a little bit of testing to see what will make this harbour happy. Will a road like that make you happy? Yes, okay. So I just need to make sure that label goes away. Does that happen if I put a road all the way in here? Oh, it does. Oh, cool. Alright then, happy days. Well, in that case, my plan is to very simply come off, real casually a little something like that. And then because I know motorways can't be zoned on, I'm going to go up to 2-lane single road here and connect it on in, just like we did in testing. Now I love the look at that. I've decided to split the out lane splits here rather than having 2 immediately. We're just going to go 1 into 1 and then into 2 right at the last minute here. Now it is saying no car access, however I'm hoping once I pop a lane in here we gain some car access. And this can be a motorway, it doesn't have to zone or anything, it can just get connected straight on and in. Nice and tidily like that, and look at that, we've got car access all of a sudden. We've got a no car access over here, which I'm a tad perturbed about, but I'm hoping whatever kind of shenanigans that I still don't understand happened over here will make that warning go away, maybe? Regardless, we can focus on getting our bit motorway on the crack, sending it straight into the port there, as well as coming back out and in. Clippity plop. And that should be this whole thing sorted, no warnings, everything working. Oh, now I do understand why we don't have any power though. Let me actually take this motorway lane off of here. That'll let power get in, and I'm also going to remove this one from being a motorway lane because that will give pedestrian access without having to pop that on there. Look at that now. Plenty of access all round. Oh, didn't dig up me ruined the boot, pal, I've just popped it in. I was zooming in so I could say, well, he's just missing it, but he's not. He's scooping me fresh tarmac straight into there. Well, look, I haven't got time to worry about that. I've got to worry about this 2-lane road, so I can connect the expressway down to Maple Lane here, with a nice tidy number like that. Gotta love a wee bridge. Go on, truck, turn left, watch out for the bump in the road. That absolutely does not need to be a bridge, like. No bridge for you. Oh, look at that, we even opened up a nice little bit of zoning. You know what could go here? A little bit of across the street business from this business here. Not that there's anybody in that level 3 or 5 business for some reason. But you know, with all of the new industry we're popping in, there will be. Just as I'm trying to figure out if this will actually work, we've got a copper car coming down here. Let's see how he does. Oh. Well, I'm clearly missing something here with this, like. Therefore, I'm going to get myself a fancy pants bit of alleyway and run it all the way around here. Well, that seems to have sorted it, apart from the little fact that it's got no power or water because there's a big motorway roundabout here that doesn't carry power or water. Unless, of course, we upgrade it to have lights on it, then it gets power through. So you'll see now it's only asking for water. It's just nice, it's one less bloody pipe to put underground in it. But no more water confusion or anything, and what's the crack over here? What's the problem? No waterway connection. That is fair, like. We've done this whole thing, and we haven't even got a bloody waterway connection to see if it works or not. So let's connect our cargo ship up to the seaways. We've got our big connection down here. So why didn't we come on out? Line ourselves up with the cargo hub here, and then pop mad little 90-degree U-turns on either end here. I love this shipping roundabout. Now we do need to sort out the level of the terrain here, like. So let's get this sand out the way here. And there's our shelf. Plenty of room for cargo boats to come by and do their thing. Once I actually set up some lines, that is. So we're going to have a quick loop out to the left and a quick loop out to the right. And that's both of our little docks full as a gun there. Split City is officially open to the world of sea trade. Well, maybe not officially. We need to make sure all of this nonsense works first. Oh, here we go. Let's see, where's he off? He's on the right turn. He's gunning straight in and doing his bit business. Oh, just like the lorry behind. Now, where do they come from and where do they go? Oh, bit of a zoomy zoom while he picked up his cargo, but they're back now. How are they going to exit? Well, it's only going to be one way, isn't it? They've only got one way to exit, and that's straight onto the exit, which leads them straight onto the motorway and now onto the other side of Split City if they so wish to choose. Or just over into this bit of the industrial estate, you know. I tell you what, I am bloody buzzing with that. Oh, and here's our first boot. What you got on your pal? Some green? Damn, are we really needing green that badly? Let's have a bit of a look here. What's our production doing? It's a green bar. Let's have a look at our service fees first. Services, education and research, absolutely funding our city, as well as electricity. And you know what, to be fair, maybe we up the budget on the roads. Yeah, maybe we up the budget on the roads because especially the terraces here, they have horrible, horrible roads. That's horridly terrible roads if you didn't understand me translation there. So now we are going to be cutting into our profit, but the roads are going back up to 100% on the old efficiency scale here. As well as everything else, to be honest with you. Absolutely everything else can be. Get the parks up to 100%. I don't care if it costs us more. I want beautiful parks for me Sims to enjoy. And there it is, empty of all of its grain. Unfortunately, now it's getting shipped out, but you know, at least we're not clogging up the roads as much. With production, we've got a surplus of grain here, like, not much of a surplus, to be fair, but we've got a bloody surplus. Fish? This is new. Fish? Hold on. Do we have fish farms new? No, no fish farms. And if you put a livestock farm in the water, it doesn't just produce fish. I already know that. We've been testing that theory for all of these episodes. Well, I'm a bit how you going on the fish situation, like. I'm gonna have to look into how we farm fish. As you can't zone out in the water and things like that. Importing a ton of cotton a month. Oh, there we're gone. We're deficit on with grain. It's updated. There's nothing I can do about oil, metal, or coal. We are at a huge surplus for stone, like, which is good, because as you can probably tell, we need to reduce the size of that mine quite significantly. I'm seeing green bars all the way in our material goods. That is beautiful. We can start shipping out our extra convenience food and our extra timber. What about immaterial goods? How we're doing here? Green all round! Damn, very nice. I mean, we can't necessarily export immaterial goods on cargo ships, but at least we don't have a deficit of money, media and software. Well, for the second time this episode, let us reduce the size of an industry significantly. And there we have our reduced quarry. Not bringing up anywhere near as much stone as it used to, but that's alright. At least it's not digging up a brand new slip roads here. And oh, nah. Be gone, traffic lights. No traffic lights anywhere in Split City. And especially not on roundabouts. It's the most backward thing ever. Although I do say that I'm going to have to sort some priorities out here. Anybody that's on the roundabout has priority. Let's just get that out the way now. Actually give them full priority all the way around. Anybody that's coming onto the roundabout has to give way. Simples. So I've got my intersection set up like this. The initial little T at the top. Nice and free flowing. A nice easy bit of access for this slip road here. As well as doing the bottom. Left lane only turns off, stays in the left lane. Inside lane goes off left or goes to either one of these two. Because this little intersection, left lane exits, right lane keeps gunning. Either around and ruined forever or off to the left. And look at that, the traffic's cleared up already. Get the traffic lights out of there, sort some proper lane management out, and you're sorted. Absolutely tickety-boo. Always changes its name. Well, since the Go Expressway here doesn't have any zoning on it, we need to build, a bit like we did over here, a tidy bit of industry around it. The main difference this time being, we've got the farm to think about. And I've got the farm all the way into the ocean here, so we can actually start harvesting some fish. That must be a fish farm there. All the fish knocking about, they're getting swept in, and then when the tide comes out, they're just left there, ready to be farmed. So what we're actually going to be doing is expanding Autumn Street here, which does mean reducing this poor landfill even more. Look at that mountain of trash right there. Oi, bulldozer, get back in. I didn't want you deleting roads like you did last time. So without further ado, let us get this bad lad situation situated. And I definitely say, without a doubt, the saddest part of this whole bit of industrial upgrade is losing the beach. We've lost so much of it. We lost a good chunk of it when we put our solar farm in, but you can't build a harbour and or motorway tunnels in sand. So I had to put some better bloody foundations down. And even if we do have the lowest ships in the world, but when they're sky high piled like that, it's a canny height. Are they actually queuing to get in? Nah, you've got enough room to can run, mate. Yeah, you're actually going there. Get around it. I'm not going to sit and watch cargo ships sit in traffic. I do enough of that with the roads. Let's zone ourselves a bit of industry in here. A little bit of low density business. And because I can be arse waiting, let me grab a low density business here and start plopping them on. And the reason I wanted to get those in is so I know exactly how I need to shift this bit of road. Like shifting it back like this. Maybe even a little bit of back like this. And then somehow sort out this height difference nonsense that's just appeared out of nowhere. Now we've got our beautiful little harbour slips knocking about next to the Go Expressway. That's still called the Go Expressway, let's go! But what about underground? It's even called the Go Expressway Underground. Happy days. Now, I did purposely leave a little bit of zoning. Well, purposely not have any zoning here, because I want to squeeze a little bit of a motorway off-ramp situation. On-ramp, technically. And we're also not entering a motorway, so it's neither of those things, technically. But basically, I want to come off here, kind of along the top, and then swing in to the actual connection here. But I'm going to pause the game just before I click to commit, reverse these runes so they're facing the correct direction, and then move it, mod everything back in place so nobody loses any zoning. And make it look all pretty like, you know? Definitely took a little bit of finagling, but we managed to get an even bigger bit of commercial here, and I may have cheated so we could keep this original little bit of industry. But oi, I saw traffic lights. Be gone, traffic lights. Be gone. Be gone, pedestrian crossing. This is an expressway. And let's sort out all of these lanes here. Lanes and priorities. Yeah, nah, it's simple enough. The little bit of slipway there, that has to give way, and everyone's just free-flowing. And looking here, does this car have to exit or can they turn around? Because I want them to be able to turn around. I don't think they can. Oh no, looks like we've got a car that's about to turn around. Who could it be? Oh, am I just forcing everybody to turn around here? Let's see if it's this truck by chance. Oh no, looks like this truck. Oh, where you gone? Oh, you're going in there. Fair dinkum, pal. Fair dinkum. Are you going to do a U-turn now though? Nah, straight on. I mean, that is the purpose of putting this slip road, yeah. So you can get straight back on the actual expressway, straight back onto the motorway if you need to, or just generally wherever you need to get to. Can I replace it with a roundabout? Oh, replacing it with a roundabout's fine. It doesn't actually mess it up. For some reason, I thought it was going to mess it up, but it doesn't. It works just fine. Well, since this is an industrial area, let's pop the big concrete roundabout with a tree on it. Concrete roundabout makes sense. Tree doesn't. But that's how we do it here in Split City. Oh, would you look at this? We've actually got a bit of commercial demand. It's very quickly dropping, but it's cropping up a little bit. And surely there's something we can squeeze in this corner here. Maybe a little canopy covered something for you to enjoy your bait. Out of this one. We've got a beautiful little bit of industry expansion. We have totally squashed our industry demand. But now we've got some demand for some petrol stations, gas stations / servos. But I will say, it looks like our little industry area's working just fine. And yeah, nah, I cannot take credit for these little roads going in and out of this industry area. Sorry, the cargo hub. I saw it online. I just copied someone. Simple as that. Oh, would you look at this? Absolutely perfect timing. What? All right. Whew, I was about to say we got 827 passengers coming to our city, but I explained earlier in the episode that we don't have rail because we don't have room for it. Yeah, now the real reason this is perfect timing is I want to end the episode with a little fly through on the train here, so you can appreciate our brand new city skyline, Split City, and even a little bit of our 3-quarter ring road around our industry. Maybe. And I switched up to 4K for this, so I'm at like 4 FPS. But hopefully speedy up, it looks great. And hopefully you have enjoyed this beautiful little episode of plonking sky rises on swamps and harbours on beaches. I tell you what, we actually did set out to do what we wanted to do this episode now. We got explosive population growth thanks to those big fancy skyscrapers. We got a massive harbour port on the crack. And completed our ring road that isn't a ring road unless you want to count the parts that aren't actually proper expressway / motorways the ring road. And until the next episode, toodle.